Don't you worry, the clip's about to begin, but don't forget to subscribe. Or else. Don't make me turn this website around.
All right, so next we've got Nathan in Texas, who wants to talk about imperialism in politics. I'm intrigued by the topic. Nathan, you're on the line.
Hello.
Hi, Nathan.
Is this
Hey, Nathan, how you doing?
Good. I've been brushing up on my reading, and recently got through the War of the Worlds, and the message about imperialism just kind of stuck with me, and it constantly is with me at this point. But I just want to discuss how American imperialism has gotten worse over the years.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not convinced, but I've said before that it's not the case, and I got laughed at because to me, imperialism is a doctrine about extending a nation's like legal control over somebody else, not just diplomacy. But there are people who view imperialism as any shadowy hand reach and done by diplomacy as well. And if that's the case, then yeah, that of the United States is probably as broad as almost anybody. I don't think it's necessarily has the same impact of like
I think it's
kings ruling over other
debatable.
countries.
Like, I mean, certainly you could say there's an aspect to it when like the U.S. supports like some Latin American government overthrowing another government or what, like stuff like that has occasionally happened. So like an argument could be made that counts as imperialism, but like, I don't know if imperialism per se is on the rise, but like, I don't know.
I think the reason it's so confusing. I think the reason it's so confusing to me is that like when I think of imperialism, I think of what the UK did in running around conquering and taking over everything. And now we own India and we own Africa, all these different bits of it. To actually build an empire by conquest is what I think of with imperialism. And now what we have is something that's more like, well, it's diplomacy plus, where we're going to implement diplomatic measures, but nobody seems to be above meddling in other people's elections and other stuff. And so, yeah, that's problematic, and it's embarrassing that my country's already been an embarrassment for quite a while. But it's hard to point fingers at other countries doing stuff if you're doing pretty much the same thing in a different way, which is quite often true.
I was thinking, like in the Middle East per se, I'd consider it almost imperialism because eventually we're probably going to just take land there and keep it.
Who's going to take land there and keep it?
Just keep going.
Who's
The
taking
US.
this land? The U.S. doesn't have plans to take any land in the Middle East.
I mean, with
What
the
makes
war
you-
going on, that's been going on for years, it just feels like they're eventually just going to
I think
take the
didn't
land.
Biden just
Okay, but
pull out
that-
of
but
the
no.
Yemen thing?
That is a bullshit speculation that does not comport with either the actions or the current treaties and policies that we have and UN guidelines. The United States is in no position anywhere in the world and has no expressed interest to take over land in other countries. It just doesn't happen. When's the last time the United States took over land?
Hawaii, I believe.
Hawaii joined the United States. That's a process of saying, "Hey, I'd like to be one of the states." That's not the United States taking over. If that were the case, then you could, because I'm in favor of DC statehood and Puerto Rico statehood and Guam and all of our protectorates having equal representation. But that the United States could have taken over any one of them and doesn't. So I don't see this fear that just because the U.S. is sticking its nose in a lot of places. In many cases, we're doing it because we have treaties with people. We're protecting allies, but I've seen no evidence of the U.S. is going to just take over land.
It was just more of a gut feeling, I'm sorry.
Okay. I don't
Right.
have that gut feeling, but I don't know either way.
Thanks for your call.
No,
Have a good night.
All right, thank you.
Somebody in chat says I'm wrong about Hawaii. Okay, well.
Yeah, I recall hearing something about the last queen of, like the song Aloha Oi was written for the last queen of Hawaii because like, I don't know if it was like a takeover situation or if it was a like economically they didn't have a choice. They were kind of strong-armed into it. I don't know. This is not my area of expertise at all. So next,
U.S. annexed Hawaii.
Annexed.
U.S. annexed Hawaii in 1898. So 123 years ago would be the last time that we probably directly took land, which I'll be opposed to.
I would also be opposed to generally, but I'm not American, so I don't get a say, I guess. Has Canada ever annexed anything? I know
shopping center.
An island. There's an island. Oh, I forget what the other country is, but there's an island in like the Arctic Circle that we have like this ongoing feud where like there's us and one other country that want to claim it as our own. And so like every couple of years we'll send someone with like a bottle of Canadian beer and just put it on there as a claimant. And then they'll come back with one of their local alcohols. And I forget that story. I wish I knew it offhand.
Hey, thanks for checking out this clip for The Line. While you're here, hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and then share this with that bitter uncle of yours who loves talking about the good old days.